Hello everybody, today we're going to be watching, today I'm going to be reacting to MSA.
Hi, my name is Sasha, and I'm a popular singer with the wealthiest parents in town. Before I continue, please like and subscribe. Selling out concerts weekly and dealing with fans around the world might sound fun, but you know what's even cooler?
Yes.
Partying. All night long. In the middle of my show, I escaped with my boyfriend Theo to go to the biggest island party ever. But when he pulled over to a helicopter pad, my excitement turned to panic.
Yes.
I thought we were going to use a yacht. You know I have a phobia of heights, right? It's a 5-minute ride. You're just being melodramatic. Get over it. Get over it? Enjoy the party without this drama queen then. Babe, come on. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I just ignored him and stormed off. As I walked back to the city, I noticed a person in a hooded jacket following me. I grabbed my stiletto and yelled at him. Why are you hiding, dude? Are you scared? Don't worry. I don't bite. To my surprise, he just threw a magazine at me and ran away. What the chocolate fudge? I picked it up and realized that it was my magazine, with a death threat drawn all over my face. Unfortunately for him, I was fearless. The threats kept coming over the weekend. My parents had always wanted to hire a bodyguard for me, but I didn't want some boring old guy to keep following me around. But this time, they wouldn't take no for an answer. When I finally saw my bodyguard, I almost passed out. He was the most exquisite specimen of a man I had ever seen, and he looked just a few years older than me. Hey, handsome. Are you sure you're a bodyguard and not my next boyfriend? To my surprise, he didn't smile a bit. Rude. You look too young for this job. How can I trust you? Suddenly, a ball from our neighbor came hurling right at me, and he instantly caught it with one hand. Trust me, I'm really good at my job. You can check my records. Your father has everything you need. Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's go. He opened the car door for me, and as I slipped in, I accidentally brushed my shoulder on his chest, and oh my, it felt harder than a rock. When we arrived at school, Theo didn't look so happy to see me with my young bodyguard. He pulled me aside and said, Look, babe, I know I insulted you the other night, but getting back at me by flirting with another guy, how could you? He's my freaking bodyguard. I'm still mad at you for what you did, and now you're accusing me of cheating? Suddenly, Damon stepped in. Is there a problem here? Stay out of this, man. Theo tried to push him aside, but Damon pounced on him and pinned him to the ground. What the heck are you doing? Let go of me, idiot. Hey, stop it. Damon finally released my boyfriend after a minute. As expected, Theo went psycho. I immediately blocked him before he got his butt kicked by Damon. That's enough, Theo. He's just doing his job. Why do you need a bodyguard when you have me? I'm your boyfriend. I'll protect you. A small spider suddenly landed on his shoulder, and he ran screaming. Protect my butt. As I walked down the hall with Damon, girls were literally drooling all over him. He looks more like a model than a bodyguard. He can be the father of my children. He's way more attractive than Theo. I really want to feel his biceps. These girls sounded so desperate, but they were right. When I reached our classroom, my best friend Tessa came up to me with my favorite coffee. Hey girl, so I brought you your... Damon suddenly snatched it and started sniffing it. He then took a sip and waited for a few seconds before saying, Clear. As he gave it back to me, Tessa was glaring at him. Excuse me, did you really think that I'll poison my best friend? Just doing my job. Tessa then dragged me to a corner. So you're giving up your privacy just like that? I can see that he's very attractive, but something about him screams bad news. He even sounds like a demon. You have to get rid of him ASAP. Oh, come on, girl. It's just his first day. Let's see. But Tessa was right. I didn't have a second of privacy. Damon followed me around every freaking second. He stood behind me in all of my classes and even in restrooms. It was so awkward. At home, he'd just stand outside my door, and I never saw him sleep. And worse, he had this permanent ice-cold expression on his face that gave me chills. I had a recording event one night, and when I reached the studio, a guy came rushing toward me. He was about to draw out something from his back pocket, when suddenly, Damon grabbed his arm and twisted it. Drop your weapon. What? I just wanted an autograph from her, man. Damon let go of the poor guy, and it was so embarrassing. What's the matter with you? I'm a popular singer, so you have to get used to my fans. Just doing my job. Calm down, Sasha. calm down. The next day at school, Theo kept following me around to apologize, but I still ignored him until he said, "My producer cousin is throwing an exclusive yacht party with some A-listers this weekend. She's a fan of yours, and she'd be ecstatic if you came." He had my attention now. Parties were my weakness. Not so fast, sweetheart. Hang out with me tomorrow? Okay, fine. Theo requested not to bring Damon to our date tomorrow, so I talked to him in private. "My job is not to leave your side for a minute. So sorry, can't do." He was so firm about this, so I finally gave up and let him come with us. We went to a private movie theater and watched a super sad movie together. Minutes into the movie, Theo and I were already crying our hearts out, while Damon had no reaction at all. What was he, a robot? After the movie, we went to a fancy restaurant, and I was having a good time with the lobster, until Theo started forcing himself on me. "Just one kiss, babe. Come on." "Not now, Theo. We're in a public place and people are staring." But he was persistent. Just then, Damon grabbed him and threw him away like a piece of paper. Theo was furious. He grabbed a chair, but before he could hit Damon with it, I pushed him away. "Stop it! Right now!" "Your stupid bodyguard started it. Why don't you tell him to get a life and go home to his mommy?" "No, Theo, you go home." I immediately called him a cab, and when he was finally gone, I turned to Damon angrily. "I know he was being a jerk, but I can handle my personal life. You don't have to interfere every freaking second." He was disrespecting your personal space. "Your job is to keep me safe, not to meddle in my personal matters. Know your boundaries." Apologies. It will never happen again. I actually didn't mind that Theo got the thrashing he deserved, but Damon always being around was just getting on my nerves. A few days later at a concert, I was performing my newest single, and everyone was singing along with me. It felt amazing. Some of them even started climbing up on the stage to join me. Suddenly, Damon jumped in and pushed them off stage. What in the world? He then lifted me and carried me to the backstage, in the middle of my freaking performance. I finally had enough. My parents are paying you to protect me, not to annoy me and screw up my concerts. Your life is in danger, ma'am. You have to treat everyone as an enemy. That is ridiculous. Whoever sends those stupid threats is probably just some harmless loser. Better to be safe than sorry. I complained to my parents about his behavior, but they praised him for it. But he's ruining my career. And even my personal life. He's just doing his job, honey, and that's to make sure you're safe all the time. They were hopeless cases, so I resorted to Tessa instead, and she came up with a plan. Test his patience, annoy him, do everything you can to make him quit. You're good at that, you gorgeous brat. I love the sound of it, girl. You're the best. Of course I am. I stayed up at 4 a.m. that night to disturb Damon in his sleep, but to my surprise, he was already up. "I need you to get my favorite Starbucks coffee." "That's not part of my job description." "Do it, or I'll make your job harder." "Fine. What's your order?" "One iced venti caramel macchiato with 6 shots of mocha, 1/4 not-fat milk, 1/8 almond milk with medium whipped cream, and a caramel drizzle with a rose design on top, in a biodegradable takeaway cup with a pink straw." "Got it." What? I was just messing with him, but to my surprise, he immediately left. And holy mother of toads, he came back with my exact order. How? "Anything else?" That's all for now." Later that day, I went to the mall and went on a crazy shopping spree, making him carry all my bags to tire him out. But he was like a machine. I entered a clothing store, and as I tried on all the prettiest clothes, I kept asking for his opinion, but he wasn't paying attention. "Hello? Aren't you going to give me a compliment or something?" "Giving an opinion about your outfits is not part of my job, ma'am." Any normal guy would have been drooling at me by now. He must be a cyborg. To get back at him, I faked a sprain and forced him to carry me on his back, but he was still as strong as a freaking tank. Finally giving up, I went to the bathroom with everything I'd bought and escaped through the window. After making sure that I'd lost him, I went to an orphanage and gave out all the clothes to the kids. While I was having fun with them, Tessa sent me some pictures of Theo kissing a blonde girl in a restaurant. At this point, I didn't even care. Theo was trash. I immediately sent him a message and told him that we were done. He was the worst boyfriend anyway. He started calling me immediately, so I just blocked him. Problem solved. Later, I went to a local club to celebrate my breakup, and while I was dancing my heart out, I was shocked to see someone watching me from the bar. Damon! Of course he tracked me down. A cute guy tried to dance with me, and suddenly, Damon came and pushed him away. Hey, listen, buddy. I'm sick of this. If you're gonna keep